Alright, ladies and gentlemen, FourCourtJester here. I'm going to talk to you today about Command & Conquer Rivals. Command & Conquer Rivals is largely considered a pay-to-win game by the masses. Not discounting the knee-jerk reactions that gamers had to a mobile Command & Conquer game, we get a lot of viewers and comments about how unfair this game is, or how people don't like it, how it's ruining their childhood, blah blah blah. Let's get this out of the way. Yes, you can spend money on this mobile game. Yes, it will help you out in combat and laddering, and people will largely hate on you for paying money to play a game, because apparently that's a bad thing these days. So if all you did was come to this video to argue that this game is indeed pay to win, you are now free to sod off and go elsewhere, since yes, it's obvious you can pay money for cards in this game. Now, if you really want to see how deep this system goes, I implore you to keep an open mind and consider the next few games. Anyone that has played this game knows that there are a few important key points to playing Rivals. First is your unit compositions. You have to micromanage your entire game, and you have a population limit to manage here as well. Unit levels are a concern, but majority of the time, if you outskill your opponent to a large degree, you can work around them by employing the key concepts we just went over. The players that do indeed pay to win doesn't necessarily mean that they win. I'm going to go over the current hotshot that is streaking through Tiberium League, but doesn't have a pristine record, and that's Derek. Derek, based upon rumors, has put something in excess of 4 digits worth of US currency into this game. His levels definitely reflect this, but does his gameplay really match that of his superior levels? I want to show you why this top 10 Tiberium player is not top 1. Or at least not yet. So, the first game that I have, of 2, is going to be here with Senior Bob. Senior Bob took on Derek 10 hours, 30 minutes ago. I took on Derek something like 24 hours ago. I got completely stomped. But I'm not as good as Bob, because I'm not top 10 Tiberium. I think, actually, Bob's like 14. But I'm not that high, right? I'm at the skin edge of lower Tiberium. Derek has now just hit top 10. And look at those levels. 13s. 14s. Who the hell has a 14 mammoth tank? Obviously, Derek has put money into this game. Senor Bob has clearly done either a lot of card farming, or he's put in a little bit of cash himself. Don't know how much. It's not the point of this video, right? But if we're going to take a quick look at this deck of Senor Bob versus Derek, then again, I want to have you keep a clean kind of understanding about what we're about to see. These are both Tiberium League players. These are both the top of the ladder. They're not number 1. That's the button, and that's not the button. There we go. But again, like, does your skill reflect that of your levels? Senor Bob opens up here with Nod Harvester. Derek has been doing this quite a bit in the ladder. Level 14 jump jets are frickin' scary, and they chunk down people really hard. Flames are the counter to this. Flames will roast even level 14 jump jets alive, and in this case, Bob negates a lot of the early game pressure and a lot of the early game investment that Derek just threw at him. Derek now, as you can see, is kind of a little bit behind. He doesn't have any units out. He's not able to contest much. He is likely either saving up for a War Factory or his own shocks, and there's the shocks. So now Bob gets to move out 3v1 for unit advantage, and Derek is stuck in defense mode. Even with the bigger levels, right now, it doesn't mean you necessarily, quote, win. Derek is still of the understanding that he can kill that Harvester through both a Venom and a Flame. It's not happening. It's definitely not happening. Those level 13 shocks are scary. We have a Banshee out for anti-vehicle. We have a Venom out for anti-infantry. We got the Flamers here from Bob there as well to try to even the odds. Now, Derek's levels here will win him out the infantry fight. Might even lose out that Banshee. Yes, he does. But so far, there's no missiles sent. Senor Bob is actually in a very good spot, and he's using his counters effectively. Derek goes into the double harvester that he's been desperately trying to get. The missile's been charging. The pads are both red. Senor Bob is able to take the first swing. Now, eventually this Banshee comes down here. It will take down Derek's first Harvester. We still have this one Venom that we built at the beginning of the game for Senior Bob, wreaking havoc on top of these infantry. Now, if Derek goes into another Harvester right here, the game's probably over. I don't think he could really afford to at this point. That was a bit of a mistake there from Bob. He should have actually held on to the Inferno shot there to get the double shot going horizontally there. But, again, doesn't really matter at this point, right? 2 Infernos are out, and Derek finally kind of techs into something else. So, yes, it does matter. Those Infernos, big waste of investment there from Cinder Bob. Definitely didn't get the most out of them. And the level 12 Talons are able to just clean house. So the Talon, I suspect Derek, again, is trying to abuse levels to go for the Harvester. We got 14 jump jets coming out here again, looking for the Harvester. We're like, what, 3.5 minutes into this match? Finally gets the Harvester. Will it matter? It's a good question. Banshee up top, at least even levels there from Senor Bob. He should be able to hold down that top pad very easily. These level 14 jets are not going to be great against Flames. That Venom holding down that pad there against even bigger level rocket troopers doesn't matter. All you got to do is just play around the levels by using, again, those key concepts. You got to have the right counters, you have to have the micromanagement, and you have to manage your population limit. Derek, while he does win 80% of his games out there, and, like, you know, I'll admit that, right? 80%. It's on his profile. He wins 80% of the games. Still doesn't really give me the big aspirations of a pro player. It doesn't give me, like, a top 3 Tiberium kind of feeling. Will he eventually get there? Probably. The guy apparently plays something on average of 125 games a day. I don't know how you play that many games a day, but it's something in that area of games being played. So, quantity over quality probably get you to the top of the leaderboard. You could say that for pretty much every game. There's not going to be any guarantee at all that, you know, pure skill or pure feeding upon lower Tiberium players will get you to the top. The game number 2 here is Craig Soul and Neutrino. Nope, that's not the right game at all. There we go. Craig Soul and Derek. Craig Soul has, again, some okay levels, right? We saw Senor Bob with level 11s and 12s trying to take on Derek with level 13s, 14s. Craig Soul here has very similar, right? 11s and 12s kind of abound. This is going to be another Nod versus GDI. And we'll have to see what Craig can do about it. But if you don't employ the strategies of this game, you are not guaranteed to win. Smashing people with levels is a very lazy way and creates very bad habits very early on that are going to be hard to break. So Derek this time doesn't open up jump jets. Craig Soul has had himself these rifles. We have the scouting going on from both sides, so we haven't actually gone to the bases yet. But Craig really wants to take control of these pads. He has a flamer out. We have 2 rifles here from Derek. Not entirely too sure what the rifles are really aiming at here, but Derek apparently also has level 13 snipers in his deck. And the 13 snipers will work against infantry. If you micro them, if you let flamers get to your snipers, the flamers will win. Snipers had a nerf recently. Their health is not great. Derek with double sniper and a Jackson boost. Like, we put so much into just killing off these flamers. Craig Soul is very much ahead when it comes to the Tiberium for these trades, because these snipers are not exactly a threat anymore. The population cap for Derek is getting really high. He hasn't built anything except a barracks. And these flamers just keep coming. They're cheaper. They're more durable. Craig is still defending his harvester with them. We're charging the pad this whole time. And now Derek will finally lose out all that investment. And he's about to lose out this pad as well. That means it's going to be a nuke to his face. Doesn't even matter that you got Talons out. If you don't put them on the pads, if you can't contest the pads, you're going to lose the nuke and you're going to have a bad time. So now we have a mix of flamers, rifles, and bikes. Bikes are going to do great up against these Talons. Not so much against those jump jets. But the jump jets don't chase. They just sit there. They get flamed. We got more jump jets. Jump jets are trying to defend these Talons as the Talons take out these infantry. And, well, in this case, it will actually work. But now we got double jump jets and a sniper out. And as long as we keep going flames and tanks or flames and bikes, Derek's still going to have a bad time. The unit compositions and the unit decisions being made here by Derek are scary because of their levels, but they're not scary because he's not playing into the counters. And this guy is now Tiberium. Sniper tries to get on the pad. That was a bad idea. You got a tank on that pad. Nothing to do with those Talons. Not sure we actually really care about those Talons, to be honest. But we're also just buying a lot of time here. The top pad goes red. Bottom pad is yellow. Jump jets. Okay. Nah, it doesn't even matter. The jump jets die bottom. Jump jets get to the top, and it doesn't matter. Like, if you can't control the pads or you can't play into the counters, it doesn't matter what your levels are. So this was the best example I could give you of how pay to win doesn't necessarily mean you win. The true and scary part of this game will be somebody with the levels of Derek and the skill of Senor Bob or Craig Soul, Alicia Destiny, Fallen, right? A lot of these players have either put in moderate amounts of money or no amounts of money, as Alicia Destiny famously claims. As long as you're good, you could win the game. As long as you're good, you can play around levels. If you keep the core concepts at the forefront of your gameplay, you can beat people 2, 3, 4 levels higher than you because they're just so used to their levels smashing through and nobody giving a crap that they form bad habits and they will not get very far in the long run of competitive at all. But if they don't want to go into competitive, they're just playing this game and it's a money dump, I mean, that's okay too. Maybe that's just how people want to play the game, right? Play the game how you want. Use the advantages that are there. And if you guys keep complaining about this game is unfair or player level advantage and all that, just get good. Just get good. Yeah, that's all it is. Bike Rush is a great example of this. Bike Rush, pro C&C player, comes back to the game after release. He's really low Tiberium. He himself is now, I think, ranked 46 in the game. And he was like 300 or 400. Like, the guy returned to his roots, got good, is now blazing through everything. And he has like level 9s and 10s. Maybe even a few level 8s. Raki Zoro got Tiberium League with level 6s. Like, there is so much evidence out there of this game not being pay to win that if you can't believe it from here, well, I don't know how to help you. So, yeah. That's my take on it, guys. The proof is out there. Do with it what you will. Play the game however the hell you want. That's really what it comes down to. You want to put in money, put in money. You want to play for free, play for free. You want to go into esports? Then go into esports. Enjoy, guys.